What's up, everyone? This is the second video in the Night Witch MTG YouTube channel. We're going to be playing Samwise Gamgee combo again. I made a couple of changes between last week's video and this week's video, based on some of the gameplay that we experienced, and then also for my local meta going into an RCQ this weekend. So the main change that I made was I cut the uh, the green black surveil land and put in a nurturing peat land. The reason I did that is, as you saw in the last video, I ran into a bunch of scenarios where um, I had one or two surveil lands in my opening hand, and it completely ruined the curve that I wanted to play out. It also happened at F&M last week, so I wanted to trim the Underground Mortuary out of the deck and put a Nurturing Peatland in there instead. The other change we made was I cut the Ruthless Lawbringer and I brought in an Eidolon of Rhetoric, which may have cost me a little bit in my RCQ that I played at this weekend, but I was expecting a bunch of Storm in the room, and it was a 23-person RCQ. Two people were on Storm, so it wasn't like the biggest percentage in the room, but it was 10% of the room, so 9% of the room. So I was happy with that change. Now, the way my tournament went was round one, I beat Red Green Prowess, Blue Red Prowess 2-0. The second round, I beat Blue Red Prowess again 2-0. The third round is where I was missing that Ruthless Lawbringer. I played against Tifa Infect combo, and I just got steamrolled. My only removal piece was Grist and the two culling rituals, so I just had to hope that I could block a 2020 Tifa and survive and untap and win. I put myself in the position to do that once, but still lost 2-0 in that one. Round 4, I played against Boros Energy. I won 2-1. In the biggest notable in that was in game 2. I had a culling ritual in hand, and so I was sandbagging all my spells, hoping that my opponent wouldn't kill me before my turn 4, and since I was on the play, um, and that I could get 4 lands and cast the culling ritual and just win the game. And it did play out that way. Oh no, sorry, I was on the draw that game, so my opponent would have a turn 4 too. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it did play out that way, and if I did draw a land on my turn 4 and cast Culling Ritual, it would have been easy sweep and win, but unfortunately I didn't, so I scooped that one without really doing much in that game, and then I was able to win game 3. So that put me in a great position going to the last round of Swiss. I was 3-1. And luckily, it was a clean break for a clean cut for the top 8. So everyone in the top 8 was able to shake hands, ID, and we all went and got pizza together. It was very nice. And so after that, the top 8 started, and I paired against Jeskai Energy, and I just got totally steamrolled. Game 2, I had to mold a 5. I probably could have kept my 7, which the 7 was 5 lands, a feeder, and a rumble, and maybe I should have just kept that and surveilled turn 1, rumble turn 2, and see if that could set up something good. But I was like, I can have something better. I have a better 7, so I mulliganed to a 0 lander, and then I had to mold a 5. So it happens sometimes when you're playing these land-light decks that you get these 0 landers, and then obviously against a deck where they're playing, Wrath of the Skies, Galvanic Discharge, Solitudes, along with ways to draw cards again after they empty their hand with the Quantum Riddlers and stuff like that. It was going to be an uphill battle anyway, so unfortunately, I lost to Jeskai Energy in the top 8. Now, it was a 2-slot RCQ, and the two people that won were my Tifa opponent and my Jeskai opponent. So when you play a tournament like that and you only lose to the winners, it doesn't feel super awful. So I'm gonna try playing with this same 75 that I'm gonna play with the same 75 that I played with over the weekend. Not really sure like what changes I want to make, so we're just gonna keep rolling with this and see how it goes. So we'll see you in round one. Okay, here we are in round one. We lost the die roll, so we'll be on the draw. This is a little tough because this hand has 2 Besejus, which you can't have on the field at the same time, and a Surveil land. However, Badger Mole Cub, Young Wolf, and Cord are all great cards, and we can curve Young Wolf into Cub and then put the Cub counter on a Peatland, which will allow us to draw a card with the Peatland and have the land come back. So I think we're going to keep this hand and see how it goes. Keep. Also, having the redundant Beseju could be good. Like, we might be playing against a deck where we want the Beseju, even though it does look like it's Boros Energy. So that might be moot. Fantastic draw. So now we could even like go turn 1 Young Wolf, turn 2 Birthing Ritual, turn 3 Surveil Badger Mole on the Surveil, which gives you the instant value instead of having to pay mana to draw a card. So let's see how this goes. So we'll start off by playing a Beseju and a Young Wolf and pass. Now, opponent could be on Storm, in which case there's nothing I would change about mulling that hand. When you play against Storm, game 1, you're just hoping that you get underneath them or they break. Alright, so they surveilled nothing. Turn 2, they're casting a Ruby Medallion. So look at that. The Beseju is going to be pretty sweet here. So we actually... This is where it's nice that we have the Surveil land. So we're... Oh, no, wait. Just kidding. This isn't a legendary creature. So we're still going to play the Peatland. We're going to set a stop in their draw step. We'll attack here. We'll play the Peatland, and we'll pass. And then in their draw step, Beseju, the Medallion. It's going to give them an extra land, but it's going to stop them from having everything reduced by 1. Now, like, they could have, like, more Medallion effects in their hand, but this makes it harder for them to win on turn 3. We don't have a path to turn 3 victory ourselves, but we are inching towards having a potential turn 4 win. So we'll see what the opponent does. I'm hoping to draw an untapped land so I can go Badger Mole Cub, put a counter on an untapped land, play a Birthing Ritual, and there's a Ruby Medallion. Unfortunate. They had another one, and now they're off to the races here. Yep, Ritual. Ars Talent, that's going to allow them to just draw through their whole deck. We're really good at getting paired into Storm on this channel. Okay, so they are out of mana, so we get another turn. Hopefully, our best draw is a Haywire Bite. So let's see if we can get bailed out by our deck. Okay, so that's an Overgrown Tomb. So again, our best draw is Haywire Might. So do we want to... We can Cord for 1, we don't have any mana. We can Badger Mole Cub, Birthing Ritual, we have no mana. So I think the only thing we can do is like hope that the top 7 cards is a Haywire Might. And cast this and cross our fingers. No Haywire Might. Very, very unfortunate. So we're going to kill the Cub, get a Badger Mole Cub, not the Cub, the Wolf, Earthbend the Peatland, and let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can still Cord for 1, but we don't have mana to activate. So unfortunately, we have to pass. And looks like they have Desperate Ritual, Avenge Resolve, Past in Flames, and a bunch of stuff. I might just scoop here because it looks pretty deterministic. But we'll let them play for a little bit. Friends resolve. Alright, so there's a wish. There are 2 right now. 3, 4, 5. We'll see what happens here. Oh yeah, they have so much mana. I'm just gonna scoop here. They got me. They don't even need to go through it. They had everything that they needed to kill me. Alright, so we're gonna bring in Soulless Jailer, Gaddock Teague, Eidolon of Rhetoric, Crystal Barricade, Lavinia. That can stop them from going off on turn 2. What else? Do we want to bring in Dothy Voidwalker? That can help. It's really hard to cast, but it can help. And then the Endurances can help. We don't need the Oculuses. We don't need the Scouts. We don't need Sylvan Safekeeper. 3 more cuts. We don't need the Cubs. Alright, so let's try this. It's bringing in a lot, but we'll see if it helps. It's a lot of hate pieces. Let's see how it goes. Alright, we will take the play. And this hand is kind of heinous, but it has a cat and a ritual and another cat, and we can just win on turn 3. So we're going to keep this. We're going to play cat and then ritual and then just try to turn 3 them. It'd be really cool if like the ritual hits like a Lavinia, then they can't turn 2 us. Alright. Shock. Play cat. Go back up to 19, 19 all, and pass. And yield through this turn. Okay. So they have a green splash. And they pass. Wow, another land. That's so lucky. Alright, we'll attack. And we'll fetch shock. We'll get an Overgrown Tomb, shocked in. And play a Birthing Ritual, which we need to tap differently for. There we go. And let's spin the wheel, make a deal. Okay, so we can grab Gaddock Teague if we're afraid of losing the next turn. But if we get a Samwise Gamgee, then we are just one creature away from winning the game, and there's still 3 sack outlets in the deck. I'm gonna say they're not gonna kill us this next turn. And if I get punished for it, I get punished for it. But that's the play I want to make. And pass. And pass. Okay, that looks good for us. Okay, that looks great for us. So we definitely get another... Oh! And there, we win the game. Isn't that beautiful? This deck is so beautiful. So we'll cast a Carrion Feeder. Actually, I'm going to play that first. Now we're going to cover all of our bases because we're going to have a bunch of food. We can make a food at instant speed. Yeah, they just scoop. Okay, so we got their turn 3. That was awesome. I think we're just going to run it back. That's why you play this deck, because you can just win so fast. And Birthing Ritual is just a crazy card. Okay, so we're going to keep this 60 and just submit. I'm always worried about losing on turn 2 against Storm, but again, it's the nature of the game. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, so we have a piece of soft interaction that can help if they are going for a Past in Flames turn. We have Chords, a Goose, a Birthing Ritual. This is a beautiful hand. The only way that this hand is better is if I had some like hard hate pieces, but you know, you work with what you got. And we'll cast a Goose and pass. They are gonna fetch a Surveil land here. We'll see what they do with that Surveil land. Alright, Elegant Parlor. And they put a Reckless Impulse in the yard. So they're probably searching for Cost Reducer or a Ritual. Uh-oh. Are we losing on turn 2? There's a Ral, so that's scary because they can win just by flipping the Ral without needing to use Past in Flames. So that's like really, really scary. Alright, runs resolve. Let's see what they get. Please be unlucky. Please be unlucky. Okay, they got another Reckless Impulse. So hopefully they don't have more rituals. Let's see what they do. Okay, they're casting the Reckless Impulse. Brick again. Brick, brick, brick. And they bricked. Beautiful. That's really nice for us. So hopefully they don't have another... Okay, they have Manamorphose. So that is going to help them keep going. But they are down to... After they draw with this, they're down to just 2 cards in hand. And they have the 3 cards in exile. If they don't flip the Ral, then they have to restart all over again next turn. If they do flip the Ral, then they could just win on the spot by ultimating Ral. So the backside of Ral says it enters with an additional counter for each instant and sorcery spell you cast this turn. It starts with 2, so their storm count is 6. So if they flip it, it'll hit 8. And then you -8, exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may cast instant and sorcery spells among them without paying for them mana cost. So they flipped it. Oh! One of the spells was Ral. Oh my gosh, they can't ultimate it. Oh, that's so good for us. That's so good for us. So they're going to have to plus Ral and then ultimate it next turn. Unfortunately, we have no way of like attacking it down. But that's really, really helpful for us because they're going to waste all this storm count that they built up this turn. Okay, Valakut's Awakening. They're out of mana. They're going to draw 2 cards. Fortunately, we have no way of stopping this, but we can potentially draw some hate pieces. Yeah, Lavinia would be amazing to draw. Dang. So if we Endurance, so if we play land, Endurance, we can chord for 1. So 1, 2, 3. We can only chord for 1, which sucks. If we chord for 2, then we can chord for our Lavinia. So we're kind of just drawing to Lavinia being in the top. Or Soulless Jailer. Right, yeah, Soulless Jailer or Lavinia are like 2 hits here. So we'll just fetch Shock, play a Birthing Ritual, and we're going to cross our fingers here. And there's a Lavinia! Oh my gosh. So we're going to get Lavinia. And Lavinia says, whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell, which completely negates the ultimate of Ral. Better lucky than good. That's Magic the Gathering. So we'll see if they are able to remove the Lavinia. They would have to like cast a spell and then Grape Shot it. I think that's like their only way of doing it. Unless they might be playing like a Braid. A Braid would do it too. Also, Ral can just -2 and kill the Lavinia. But then again, that gives us another turn. I forgot about that part. Damn. Yeah, they kill. All right. So, but now they have to uptick twice to ultimate the Ral. So we're actually still looking pretty okay here. And there's a Soulless Jailer. Permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. So that also is a way to stop the Ral, and it's a way to stop Past in Flames. So I think what we want to do here is, since we have the redundancy, I think we just want to shuffle all this back in and then hit the Birthing Ritual on the Endurance. That way that if they have an Abrade, they can't just like kill the Soulless Jailer, and they need to uptick twice to be able to really do the damage with the Ral. So let's just go with this route. And then we'll get a Forest. And we'll cast Endurance. normally. We just want a creature for Birthing Ritual. Shuffle back in. Thank you very much. I don't think they can play these anymore, so we don't need to know about them. And then let's pass. Get our trigger. And what do we got? A goose, a feeder, a Sam. I think, well, no matter what we get, they can just minus the Ral. So I think we're just going to say no. And say no, and pass. Next turn we can play Soulless Jailer in a land, and then we can even sack the Soulless Jailer to the Birthing. So the problem with Soulless Jailer is it turns off our Quarter Callings. But that could be okay. Alright, they uptick Ral. Cast Ren's Resolve. Manamorphose and Prismatic Ending. So they might ending the Birthing Ritual. That also makes it so that they can get rid of the Soulless Jailer next turn. They have lots of ways to remove the hate pieces, but just putting them on the field helps. Next turn, if we draw one of the 1-mana creatures, that's a combo piece, we can actually chord for Sam, and then we can hit one of the other pieces off the Birthing Ritual and win the game. So let's see. It's so nice that they had to downtick the Ral. Really gave us some breathing room. Oh, they're going for it, actually. Huh. Oh, wow. Now I'm feeling a little punished by casting that Endurance. But they still don't have much to work with. So they Ritualed, Reckless Impulse, Bricked. They're probably going to Manamorphose here. Go up to 2 cards in hand. Or they could Ren's Resolve. Alright, they're going to Manamorphose. Go up to 3 mana and 2 cards in hand with a Ren's Resolve to cast. There's the Ren's Resolve, and it hit a Valakut, Awakening, and a Wish. So they could cast Wish and get Grape Shot, and it won't be lethal. And they won't have a way to flash it back. Or they can just cast Awakening and draw 3 cards. I'm glad that I fetched for the forest, because we could have been at 12 instead of 14, and then they would have been much closer to killing us. I do regret casting that Endurance. Soul Shieldar would have been better. They would have used the Prismatic Ending on it, and then when it got to this point, we would have Endurance, pitching a Quarter Calling, and shuffled everything in, and they would have like totally fizzled. So that was like the mistake of the game, I think. So they cast Valakut Awakening, draw 3. Do they have more rituals? Okay. So now they need to cast one more spell, then Wish, then Grape Shot. But if we had Shocked, we would just be dead because they would just Wish and Grape Shot. Yeah, they're probably deciding if they want to just get me down to, let's see, 12, 1 life. I won't be able to fetch. Alright, a Ruby Medallion. So they can still cast that Wish. Do they have another ritual? There's the Grape Shot. It was in their hand. Okay. Oh boy. So they're going to 0.4 at Endurance. And 9 at me? Yeah, I'm at 5. Okay, I'm at 5. So the opponent has one card in hand, a wish. Okay. So what we're going to do here is I think we're going to cast a Soulless Jailer and fetch for a Dryad Arbor. That way we can Birthing Ritual the Dryad Arbor away. And then we hold up Endurance. Oh no, I did it in the wrong order. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. So I think we're going to keep that on top and just like take the Soulless Jailer away. So what happened was I needed to permanent cards. Oh wait, no, I need to slow down sometimes. So what just happened there is I forgot the difference between Soulless Jailer and Grafdigger's Cage. When you have a Grafdigger's Cage on the board, you're not able to fetch for a Dryad Arbor. Hi Noodle, what's up? My cat is yelling. As you can hear her in the background, that's Noodle. Anyway, the difference between Grafdigger's Cage and Soulless Jailer is Grafdigger's Cage does not allow you to fetch for a Dryad Arbor, but Soulless Jailer does. And I just totally spaced on the difference between the two cards there. So that was why I ended up surveilling instead of getting it. So that was a huge mistake there. Okay, so we could grab the Crystal Barricade, which gives us hexproof and prevents all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures we control. That means that the opponent will have to kill the Crystal Barricade before dealing any damage to us. So I think that's going to actually be better for us than the Soulless Jailer because we have the endurance to deal with the yard. So, and this is not going to hit yet. So actually, well, yeah, so we're going to do that. So we're going to toss that away, grab the Crystal Barricade, and pass. And now we have Endurance up to shuffle away the board if they have another Pass in Flames. We are in a tough position now, though, because they can Ultimate Ral next turn. So we're playing a little loose, but we're still in it. On the back of our really good Hate Bears, which we've seen 3 of them so far this game: the Lavinia, the Soulless Jailer, and now the Crystal Barricade. So we're gonna have to play tight here, and we're gonna want to endurance at the right moment. Okay, so they're gonna Prismatic Ending the Crystal Barricade. That's what I thought would happen. And now are they gonna just start going for it? Manamorphose. Two cards in hand. They can cast this Wish. I think it's the only one they can cast. It's so hard to tell. Magic Online's so hard to tell like what you can cast and not. Yeah, I think that was the only one they could cast. And then do they just have like another Wish? They have another. Okay, good games. Good games, good games. Alright, so that was, we lost 2-1 to Storm. We played sloppy and made a bunch of mistakes. We might have been able to win. We probably would have been able to win if we had fetched the Dryad Arbor instead of the Lush Portico, because if we had both Soulless Jailer... If we had Soulless Jailer, then they wouldn't be able to cast the Grape Shot, so... It is what it is. On to the next round. Alright, we're back here for round 2. We lost the die roll again. Well, this hand looks great. We got a Goose, a Sam, a Cord, a way to bring back stuff if it gets killed or countered. We're definitely keeping this hand. And as long as they don't play like a turn 1 Ragavan or something like that, we're just going to play the Goose first. It looks like they might be playing a turn 1 Ragavan here. Oh no, Guide of Souls. So the Young Wolf doesn't properly block the Guide of Souls. the Gildagoose does. So that's an even better reason. So we're going to go ahead here and fetch Shock for a Temple Garden. So we can cast the Sam and play a Goose and pass. Next turn we might play like Sam and Wolf. We might Rumble. It all depends on what they show us here. Alright, so opponent has an Elegant Parlor. They surveil nothing. And, oh, this is like so hard to beat. They gain 1 life, gain 1 energy. They're going to make a food. And we draw a Badger Mole Cub. So, I think what I want to do here is Badger Mole Cub and then cast a Rumble. Maybe. So, is there any way? So, I think we definitely want to cast Rumble this turn because we have the Scout in hand, and whatever we toss in the yard, we can Scout back. But then already having the Sam helps. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that play. So we'll play a Badger Mole Cub. Earthbend on the Temple Garden. That way the garden itself can cast Sam. And then we'll go ahead and sack a food, make 2 mana, and cast a Rumble. And we'll grab a Dried Arbor. Now we are set up for a turn 3 kill. So as long as the opponent doesn't hold up Galvanic Discharge or play a Goblin Bombardment, we're looking really good for a turn 3 kill here. Because what we can do is play the Sam, play the Dried Arbor, flashback the Familiar, Chord for 1. So looking okay. Looking okay. It's nice that like we have our opponent in check, but it's all hidden except for the cat. Goblin Bombardment is easily the scariest card in this matchup. Easily. Alright, they're playing Ocelot Pride. Gain 1 energy. So they're going to be able to jump something when they attack. And they discharge the mole, the Badger Mole Cub. Okay, so that's going to slow us down a little bit. But we still should be good, especially if they don't have a land. I think so we'll cast the Sam, play this, 1, 2, 3, 1, Chord for 1, and then get the Familiar. Yeah. So we still got it. We still have the win, as long as they don't play a land here. And they don't have a 3rd land. Yeah, the Badger Mole Cub is really great at psyching people out. They think they have to deal with it, but in reality, it's a red herring. Chord for 1. Carrion Feeder. And then bring back the Sam. Or bring back the cat. Always yield. Always yield. Sack the cat. Yep. Thank you, opponent. Alright, we won game 1 on turn 3. Through a Galvanic Discharge. Okay. Culling Rituals are awesome. Grist is great. Sun Cleanser is great. Crystal Barricade is great. I love these cards in this matchup. They're just awesome. Sideboarding is hard. Even though it did win us the game, we're siding out all 3 Badger Mole Cubs. We are not trying to accelerate here. We're playing into a more grindy matchup. So we cut those, cut a Rumble, and because we're bringing 2 Culling Rituals, I like to shave 1 Birthing Ritual because of the hits that we can miss. And we'll side those in and see what happens. Culling Ritual is amazing in this matchup. If we get to usually you cast it and you win the game. So we'll see what happens here, and we'll submit and go on to game 2. Game 2 on the draw. Opponent. Alright, so this is one of the reasons why this deck is hard to play. Your land count is so low that you get hands like this, where if just like any one of these was a land, it would be a sneak. But because we can't guarantee that we're going to draw a land in the top 2 draws, we have to mull this hand. If this was like a green-black land, like maybe we could keep it and play a Cauldron Familiar turn 1, but it's just not going to work out, so we're going to have to mull this. Okay, this is a little bit... This is better. Unfortunately, there's like no path to casting the Cord here, but we do have like ways to deal with maybe a Blood Moon, and we have 2/3 of the combo. So we're gonna keep this, put the Dried Arbor at the bottom, and see what the opponent has to offer. Arid Mesa, cracked. For a Shocked-in Sacred Foundry, are they going to play a Ragavan? Are they going to play Ocelot Pride? A Ragavan, okay. So that means that we're definitely playing this Cauldron Familiar. It blocks so profitably. It's going to force them to use a removal spell if they want their Ragavan hit, which means that they're not going to be able to get a turn 2 Blood Moon, which just locks us out of the game. So we'll go get an Overgrown Tomb and a Cauldron Familiar and pass. And we're going to snap block if they attack with this Ragavan without removing the Familiar. Okay, so they have a Surveil Land, Elegant Parlor, keep it on top. Been seeing that a lot in this league, opponents keeping it on top. And there it is, the Galvanic Discharge. So they are going to get their Ragavan hit, which is a bummer, but, you know, what can you do? They hit a Misty Rainforest. Would have loved to draw that, honestly. What can you do? Is the opponent going to use their mana? They are, and they're going to play a Guide of Souls. Okay, so we have a Sylvan Safekeeper here, which will help eventually. I think... So if we play the Sylvan Safekeeper and the Haywire Might, then next turn we can... 1, 2... Play the Sylvan Safekeeper and the Viscera Sphere. 1, 2, 3. We can cord for 1. If we draw a land, we can cord for 2. But then that's not enough. We don't have a food, so we wouldn't be able to bring back the Familiar. We could just play the Haywire Might in case they do play a Blood Moon. Because they're presumably going to jump the Ragavan, so we won't be able to block it anyway. 3 cards. I think we're going to keep the open mana. I think we're just going to cast the Haywire Might and pass. This, because like Blood Moon just locks us out of the game, and we want to keep playing the game. We're very close to winning the game. We have everything we need, especially if we draw another land. Alright, opponent plays Arena of Glory. They have a creature to run out with haste. They might just play Flage here, which, you know, will gain 2 life. Alright, Johnny. Are they going... So now we have to wonder, do they have a way of flipping their Johnny? Which would be very, very bad for us. We'd have to try and set up a turn where we just win on our turn. Because if they flip a Johnny, no matter what happens, they'll be able to kill whatever creature we have. They'll probably attack with both Guide Souls and Ragavan, jump the Ragavan. It's not profitable to block the Guide Souls with the Haywire Might. It will gain 2 life, but it doesn't do anything. Like, it's just chumping. So, yeah, they're going to... What are they jumping here? They're going to jump the Ragavan. That makes a lot of sense. No blocks. We'll take 5 and go to 11. What do they exile from us? A goose. That's a goose would have been so good. Goose would have been a fantastic draw. Even though I really want to land. Like, is what I want the most. Alright, do they have Galvanic Discharge for a cat to hit the Cat Warrior token to flip the Ajani here? Or are they just going to pass? 1 red, 2 red, 2 red. Oh, we're dead. So they're going to shoot. What are they going to shoot? Us? They're going to shoot us. That's fine. Down to 10. So that'll deal 4 to us. So I think we just want to hit the bombardment here. We'll go up to 12. They'll nug us for 3 down to 9 at a virtual 6. I mean, we're dead. There's like no... I don't think there's any way for us to come back from this. But we'll play the game and see what happens. So we're at 9. Next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 5. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, we'll just concede here. Alright, they got us. On to the next one. Game 3. I think we're going to just keep this. Really hoping to get a Crystal Barricade or a Sun Cleanser. Those cards are nuts. Culling Ritual's great too, but we just like lost on turn 3. Alright, let's submit. Alright, we are on the play. We will play first. And, well, this has a Culling Ritual, Birthing Ritual, Samwise, and an Oculus. We're going to keep this. It might be a little loose. But if we can get to turn 4 and cast a Culling Ritual, we'll win the game. Opponent mulligan to 6. Alright, opponent kept 6. We'll play a Windswept Heath and pass. And then yield until next end step. They shock in and play a Ragavan. Alright, we'll Surveil. Lush Portico. Oh, a goose. Beautiful. So we'll put the goose on top. We will play out a Verdant Catacombs, cast a goose. We're going to definitely chump. I think we're going to chump with the goose here. Well, maybe we don't chump with the goose. We'll see what they play. We'll see if they play anything pre-combat. Because we are setting up a turn 3 Culling Ritual, and if they have like a bunch of stuff on board, then that would be really nice. But it doesn't look like they're going to do that. Now, we could be a little reckless here and fetch for a Dryad Arbor and trade with the Ragavan. And then we can Birthing Ritual next turn. I kind of like that. It's a little atypical play, but I kind of like trading a land for a Ragavan. Especially when the opponent is down a card since they mulled to 6. Opponent might be contemplating using a discharge on the Dryad Arbor here. Oh, they're Thraben Charming the goose. Okay. So they're going to leave us with no creatures. Okay, that was a pretty good play by the opponent. And we draw a Beseju. So here, I want to get a creature out so that we can ritual the next turn. So we'll play a Nurturing Peatland and play a Sam and pass. and pass. Alright, they're playing a Guide of Souls and an Ocelot Pride. So now our culling ritual is going to go crazy style when we get to actually cast it. So we have 4 cards in library, or in graveyard. Oh, this is sweet. So what we're going to get to do when we cull... Well, we're not going to... No, never mind. We don't... We would need 5 mana to be able to culling ritual into an Abhorrent Oculus, but that's okay. So we have 4 cards in the graveyard. That would be 5. We need 6. So I think here we just play a Heath, cast a ritual. We're going to hold up a Seiju in case we don't want to crack the Sam with the Birthing Ritual. Could get a Goose. Could get a Goose. If we get a Goose, then we can play the Abhorrent Oculus after the culling ritual. So we're going to get a Goose. Opponent's going to be very confused by this play. Maybe they'll sniff out the culling ritual that we're going to slam, but we'll see. Now, unfortunately, we can't Seiju a Blood Moon if they play it this turn. We would have to do it next turn. We'll see what happens. I really, really hope that I get to go culling ritual into Abhorrent Oculus. It's like one of my favorite plays in this format right now. Opponent's tanking because they're confused as to why the Sam is gone. And the Gilded Goose remains. Now, when we culling ritual, we will lose our Birthing Ritual and our food tokens. But against Boros, wiping the board and just having an Abhorrent Oculus is just like so huge. Okay, opponent's probably just attacking all here. Doesn't really matter what we do. We'll block the guide. Take 2, go to 15, or take 2, go to 14. Opponent goes up to 19. They'll make a cat. They probably sniffed out this culling ritual. I bet they sniffed it out. Oh, that hurts so bad. So now they can sack a cat and kill the goose. Yeah, that's a bummer. We got punished a little bit. We're not gonna be able to abhorrent Oculus here. But we are gonna we're gonna deal a lot of damage to them. We'll get our breeding pool tapped. Untap. Carrion Feeder. Well, actually, we can just cast Oculus now. We can cast Oculus and Carrion Feeder. They'd be able to kill the feeder. But it's hard for them to deal with an Oculus. So do we play the Beseiju? We could play the Beseiju and the Carrion Feeder. It forces them to sack a cat to kill the feeder, which I'm fine with. And if not, then we can like ritual away the feeder into something bigger. I'm okay with that. We're going to keep the Sam in case we scout for survivors. Okay, and then we'll cast the feeder. If they kill the feeder, they kill the feeder. I'm fine with that. And now, next turn, we can Culling Ritual and keep our Oculus, which, like, that could be a crazy play. Alright, we got our Birthing Ritual trigger. Oh, there's the scouts. I think we're gonna get the Sun Cleanser here. That turns off a lot of their deck. Target opponent loses all counters. They can't get any more counters. So now Guided Souls can't jump stuff. And Galvanic Discharge can't kill anything at all. And they'd have to cast another creature and use all of them to kill the Sun Cleanser. Or like cast a creature, make a cat token, and like sack 4 of their creatures to kill the Sun Cleanser. I think this was the play. I think we did pretty nice here. Now it's Manifest Dread. And we are going to put that cat in the yard and grab this Birthing Ritual. So now we're getting closer and closer to comboing them too. We can bring the cat back at instant speed if we want to. It's looking pretty nice. Opponent's thinking. It's so hard to beat the bombardment, but Oculus really helps. I wonder if they like are even playing Blood Moon or people bring it in against us. Like we have the worst mana base in the whole format, so I think Blood Moon's more effective against Samwise than like Amulet and Tron, honestly. Okay, so they are going to deal 6 to the Oculus with a Thraben Charm. That's pretty good, opponent. Pretty good. Can't deal with that. But they don't have any good attacks. And don't really have a way of triggering the Ocelot Pride here. Alright, they just pass. So I don't think we want a Culling Ritual. It would hurt us more than them. So we're going to bring back the cat and pass. And have a Birthing Ritual trigger. And hopefully sack the cat for something good. Oh, they're killing the cat. That's fine. We'll bring it right back. And if they do that again, that's awesome for us. Like, crazy good for us. Okay, they decided that that was enough. So unfortunately, this is 0 mana. So we'd have to sack the Sun Cleanser to get the Endurance, which I don't want to do. So we're just going to say no. We're going to say no and pass. I really want to get them to, like, I don't want to get rid of the Sun Cleanser at all. So to cast this Culling Ritual, I would need them to do some, like, put a pretty insurmountable board up or something like that. Now, what's cool is if we draw land and we Ritual, we can cast the Oculus because we'll fill the yard up. Okay, they gained a life. Now they're going to... Now we might actually have to Culling Ritual here. Oh my god, yeah, we're almost definitely going to Culling Ritual here. Let's just hope that we draw another land. Because they're going to make... I mean, they might kill us. I mean, I can't do the math. We might be dead. We might just straight up be dead here. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 4. So they have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so they can only deal 10 to us. Now, if we Culling Ritual here, they are going to sack their whole board, and then we'll be able to just play Young Wolf, and that's it. But, like, they just put us... They kind of just put us in check. Next turn, they'll kill us. So, I think we... Do we even attack with anything? This is rough, y'all. Okay, we're gonna just cast it. And we're gonna make probably just like 1 mana, or like 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, and then we're just gonna cast a Young Wolf, and that's it. Next turn we can Oculus. Drawing a land would have been so perfect, but what can you do? We're a land-light deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we only have 13 lands left in the deck out of 40 cards, so they're probably just deciding like how much they're gonna bombardment, and like if they're gonna deny us mana or just like get us down to 3, right? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they can just get us down to 3. And then we're dead to like land Flage, but like that, it is what it is. Like, what can you do? Maybe I was supposed to. Maybe we were supposed to Culling Ritual last turn. I don't know. All right, here comes the bombardment. Bombard. Throw all these cats at us. They're the cat deck now, not us. Alright, they save targets, so this will be quicker. Unfortunately, I can't just, like, yield, because I want to cast the Young Wolf after this. It's going to hurt losing the Birthing Ritual, but I had to do this play. I had to. I was straight up dead next turn, so I was dead to like 1 creature. Down to 5. Down to 4. And down to 3 life. Okay. And now Culling Ritual hits. All green. Play a wolf. And pass. Alright. Opponent has 3 cards. We might just be dead here. I would love to cast a Support Oculus. Okay. Surveil land is promising as long as I don't surveil a Flage in the yard. Okay, Surveil a Wrath of the Skies, and cast an Ajani. That's still really scary. Ajani is a really scary creature, but let's cast our Oculus, which is another very scary creature. 2, 3, 4. And we'll keep the Sam. We'll keep the Sam and the Cauldron Familiar because we have the Viscera Seer. So if we draw Scout for Survivors, we win the game. Okay, Oculus, Manifest Dread. Hide that we lost the Culling Ritual. If opponent has Goblin Bombardment, we're dead. But I think they would just slammed it if they did. It's definitely part of the conversation. I could have Viscera Seared, gone down to 2. And then I could have scried to try and find the Scout. There's another Young Wolf. Cast the Young Wolf. Kind of want to cycle this land. Maybe that was a bad idea because we don't have black mana now, but I don't know, y'all. I'm in a tough position here. Alright, there's a Carrion Feeder, which we can't flip because we don't have black mana. And there's the Flage. Good games. GG's. Damn, we got really close there. I'm sure when I look back and rewatch those games that we lost, I'll find ways that we could have won, but unfortunate, we're 0-2. On to the next one. Okay, we're back for round 3, and we won the die roll, so we will be on the play. Oh yeah, we'll keep this one. It's always unfortunate when a Dryad Arbor's in your hand, but we can Feeder, Rumble, we have Ritual, we have Chord. Seems good to me. And actually, I might hold on to the Carrying Feeder here. No. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to Surveil because we took out the Underground Mortuary, so we're definitely going to Fetch Shock and play the Carrying Feeder this turn. Opponent kept 7. Alright, so we're off to the races. Get an Overgrown Tomb and cast a Carrying Feeder and pass. Alright, opponent plays Mystical Archive. Oh, this probably is control, in which case casting that feeder is not great. But we're going to have to work with it. I think we're just going to slam the Birthing Ritual. It's hard for them to remove. It's hard for them to do anything about. They have to have Forced Negation here, which they do. Faithful Manning. Okay, so this is actually Goryo's. We're playing against Goryo's Vengeance. Opponent cracks a Delta. It's a Swamp. And plays a Psychic Frog. Yeah, this is Goryo's Vengeance. This is going to be a tough one. And then, of course, Sam, which we can't cast. So let's start off with a Rumble. We'll grab a Verdant here. Play a Verdant, crack it. Go get a Temple Garden. And we're going to cast a Badger Mole. Put the counters on the Temple Garden and pass. And now we're threatening lethal next turn. Now, they play Solitude. So it's going to be really hard to beat them, but we're going to try. Actually, let's like block here. So if we block here, we play the Sam, we play the Dryad Arbor, we can Chord for 1, yeah. We'll block here, force them to discard. I'll trade a card from their hand for the Badger Mole Cub, even though it was a land. Alright. Cast Sam. Play a Dryad Arbor. And pass. And now we're threatening lethal. So we just kind of have to see what the opponent does and hope that we can catch them slipping. If we catch them slipping, we can win the game here. All right. Opponent draws up to 4 cards. Jumps the frog. Are they going to do anything else? Just jump the frog, okay. So they're going to draw a card here. So we can try and win the game here and force them to have a counter spell or a Solitude. We have an extra Chord. So I kind of am into just jamming it right now before they draw their extra card. This might be an amateur play, but I'm not sure. Chord for 1. Opponent's tanking. They have the Solitude. Okay. They pitched an Atraxa for that, so that's pretty cool. What are they gonna hit? They're gonna hit the Sam, so we'll sack it. Oh, brutal. Absolutely brutal. And they're gonna get both of our creatures. That's absolutely brutal. Well, we'll take the 1 life. And now it's gonna be really hard to win. Next turn. We'll get a Viscerseer. Opponent has 1 card. They hit us for 2. They have 2 cards now. We're gonna sack the Temple Garden to scry. Oh God, what? They probably have a Force Negation. Don't pay. Scry to the bottom, and then we'll pass. My read is that they have Force Negation, so I'm going to want to cast this Court on their turn. We're going to Ephemerate. I'm just going to Court here. I don't know. I'm a little tilted. This is a really hard matchup. I hate playing it. Oh, get an Oculus. All right. Well, they didn't have Force of Negation. They would have cast that there. They don't have enough cards to discard to the Psychic Frog to get past the Oculus. I think they have to just pass. All right, not bad, not bad. And there's a cat. We'll play a little cat and pass and see what we manifest dread. Another cat. Cool. Now we're gumming up the board. Oh, now they're gonna. Oh God, now they're gonna get Atraxa. Oh, I hate playing as this deck. It's so frustrating. I never play any decks that have good matchups against it. They're gonna just be able to deal with everything now. They're probably gonna take Solitude, Prismatic Ending, Marsh Flats, Goryo's Vengeance, or Fatal Push. Probably Fatal Push. That's my guess. Ending, Flats, Push, Solitude. Because then they can Solitude the Oculus, push like the cat or the Manifest token, ending something else. They just discard. Oh, they kept. Okay, now yeah, that's game. That's so bad. I didn't even think about taking Goryo's Vengeance and Grizzlebrand. Yep, they got us. All right. So we have Soulless Jailer, Voidwalker, Endurances, Surgical. Yep. Don't need the Cubs. Don't need the Haywire Might. I'll trim a Birthing Ritual. I'll trim a Court of Calling. Alright. That Force Negation on the Birthing Ritual was brutal. I'm going to keep this just on the back of Endurance. Opponent is tanking. if they're going to keep their 7 or mull. Alright, they kept 7. Really bad for us. I was really hoping they'd just mull to Oblivion. Alright, we'll play Windswept Heath and pass. We're going to Surveil in their end step. Yield until next end step. Alright. Surveil. And we'll keep that on top. I think I'm just going to put the birthing ritual down. Even though I'm not going to get triggered this turn, I think that might be a good play. Because it's like if they counter it, like they'd have to 2-for-1 themselves probably. Alright, Meticulous Archive, Surveil a Marsh-Fox to the Yard. They probably have enough lands in their hand. And here is a frog. I hate the frog. And there's a Dothy Voidwalker. Okay, I think we're just going to slam that. They won't be able to jump their frog. I mean, they'll be able to, like, pitch a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So they pitched an Atraxa. I think that means that they're going to be trying to, yeah, we're not doing that. I think that means that they're going to try and Goryo's Vengeance it next turn, in which case we have an Endurance to stop that, which will be really nice. Okay, I guess not. But they're going to attack with the Psychic Frog. We can't afford to block that. So just let it happen. They draw a card and pass. Okay. Accord. We're going to attack for 3. And then we're going to Endurance here. That way we have something to ritual away. Get some value off of that ritual. Shuffle that Atraxa back in. You can block a Psychic Frog too. That's weird that they exiled it. We have a push. We got push for Dothy Voidwalker, okay. They have another push? Okay, Faithful Mending. Draw 2 life, draw 2 cards. You gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. They discard 2 lands, so they are flush with action spells. Alright, let's get an Upward Oculus. At least we're getting some value off of that. We still have the Endurance. We can pitch a Sam. I put the Beseiju in the yard in case we like get to a point where like we have Sam plus a bunch of little tokens, and then we can start bringing in Beseiju back with the food tokens. All right. Let's see if they have a counter spell for this Endurance. They don't. So we will have you shuffle. Back in. Jump your frog. Got it. Okay. And now attack. I can't block with the Oculus because they can pitch 2 cards and then Oculus dies. Opponent's up to 4 cards in hand. They surveil. We still have 1 endurance left in the deck. And there's a verdant. So here I'm going to want to play the Sam. Fetch a Dryad Arbor just to get a token. I'm not going to attack. I just want to have everything possible here. And then we will grab a familiar. Make a food. And then I'm just going to jam. I think this is our best shot at winning the game. Alright, we stole one from Goryo's Vengeance. Whew, that was tough, but we did it. We stole one. We had to use every single one of our cards, but we did it. Alright, on to game 3. Game 3, gonna probably bring Grist to stop that pesky little frog. And we'll cut a wolf. I probably should be cutting wolves more often, I think. Maybe we'll cut another wolf and bring back the cord. Alright, we're on the draw. Let's see if we can steal this. Okay, that looks awesome. That looks like it's gearing up for a win. I mean, we need to draw... We need to draw a white land, but we have Familiar, we have Birthing Ritual, we have Rumble. We have a lot of good stuff here, so... They could always, you know, just solitude us to death, but... I like this. If I have a read that Birthing Ritual can go off, I'll play it next turn. If not, I'll just Rumble. Okay. I don't think Birthing Ritual will be able to go off next turn. So we'll start by attacking. I don't think they play Felia. And then we're gonna Rumble. If they want to counter the Rumble, that's fine. They probably are gonna play Faithless Mending or whatever. Here we're gonna take the Verdant Catacombs. That way we can cast Sam and Birthing Ritual next turn, and then we might just win the game. Oh, they have a Fatal Push. Okay, that's fine. See, the Birthing Ritual would not have gone off. Opponent plays Winter Night Stories. So we actually do have a chance if they don't have Force of Negation. If they, this is a lot. If they don't have Force of Negation, and if they don't have Solitude, we actually can win the game on this turn. So we get Temple Garden. Cast a Sam. Oh no, wait, we can't because we have to sack the token. Oh, I need to slow down. I move way too fast sometimes when I play this game. I think we're gonna jam it anyway, but yeah, I need to think more clearly. Sometimes I just like start casting spells I don't think everything through all the way, and then I get punished like this. Well, all right, we have a Scout for Survivors, so Scout for Survivors can get the Sam and the cat. So I think we're gonna sack the Sam and get a Carrion Feeder here. Opponent's gonna be like, what? If they might be able to suss out what we're gonna do. So it actually might be like just play Grist next turn. Alright, there's a Riddler. Oh, if they like Ephemerate the Riddler. Okay. Interesting. They almost definitely have Atraxa, right? Or not Solitude, right? Do I still just try and get him? They'll only be able to kill one of my things. And they actually won't... Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for it. And there's a cat. There's another cat. Scout for survivors. Opponent's reading the card. Oh, they let it happen. There's a Solitude, okay. What are they going to hit? They're going to hit the Sam. So I'll sack the Sam. That way, we're able to scout it back. And I'm going to play another familiar here. Attack with the Carrion Feeder. And then actually, we could just win here if we hit a Sam off this Birthing Ritual. Even though there's only 2 left in the deck. Alright, we're going to get a Goose. We'll sack a cat, get a Goose. Make a food. Pass the turn. Alright, so that was, you know, we forced them to have the Solitude. They pitched a Prismatic Ending. And now we are so dead. We are so dead. Alright, so they reveal a lot of good cards. A lot of very good cards. Man. This is such a hard deck to play against. One of these days, I'll play something that it's bad against, but I don't know what day that'll be. Alright, so they kept Subtlety, Marsh Flats, Consign. That was a pretty good Atraxa. Alright, Prismatic Ending on the Carrion Feeder, so we'll sack it to itself. Again, that will help if we draw our second scout. They're going to attack for 7 here. So they're going to go to 17, we're going to go to 9. And they're going to consign that trigger. Okay. We are was colloquially known as screwed here. And there's a force. Well, actually, let's just jam. I like to jam. Do you like to jam? I like to jam. Oh, they have the subtlety. Haha. Okay. So we'll put that on the bottom. And now, if we have a Carrion Feeder on the top, or a Viscersphere, we win the game. No, they have a push. Ugh! Oh my god, they just had everything. It's such a bummer deck to play against. It really is. Well, we'll get another Sam, and we just keep on showing you Sams, and you can get us to 2 this turn, unless you can discard another card in Goryo's it. We are going to get 1 more draw step. There's a Frog. There's a Riddler. Oh my god. Did they get there? Alright, we go to 2. So we can't even play any... We can't play any of our lands. They would all kill us. Oh, great. And our cats are dead. Okay. Well, if we draw... Alright, we're just gonna go to 1 and get our surveil on. Help us try and win this game. Put that in the yard. Bring back a cat. Oh my god, I screwed up because of the Soulless Jailer. I forgot about the Soulless Jailer. Oh my god, we win the game. Oh my god, we win the game. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so crazy. And like, if I didn't... I could have played around like Surgical or something if I had the extra food, but I forgot about the Soulless Jailer. But oh my gosh, I can't believe we won that game. That's crazy. Well, GG's opponent. We are now 1 and 2. On to the next round. That's crazy. All right, we're back here with round 4. We're currently 1 and 2, and we won the die roll, so we will be on the play. Yep. I really want to keep this hand because it has 2 parts of the combo and 2 ways to find the win, but we're on the play and we only have 1 land. We have 20 lands left in the deck. After we fetch, we'll have 19 left in the deck. That's not enough. We're going to mull. And that's a 0 lander, so we'll mull again. Okay, we have to keep this. We'll toss back the Dried Arbor. And the Endurance. The reason we're tossing those 2 back is because the Scout can bring back like a Cub or a Sam. And we don't know if the Endurance will do anything against the opponent, so... They play a Mountain and pass. I have no clue what that can mean. We'll Surveil. And put a Carrion Feeder on top. Now we do need to find some black mana, but it'll come. Especially because we're going to cub this Lush Portico. So if the Portico dies, we can Surveil again. And pass. Let's see what you got, opponent. Oh, this is a white-red land destruction, maybe? Or like... Okay, so they're Cleansing Wildfire us. Get our basic. We are going to lose this matchup, y'all. There's almost nothing we can do about this one. Their whole deck is like Solitudes, Galvanic Discharges, and Land Destruction, and we only run 1 basic. Okay, they are going to destroy our force. Oh, this is so painful. It hurts so bad. We do have a clock. Seiju does nothing. We can't cast any. We can cast the Scout for Survivors, but it doesn't hit anything. So we'll just play the Seiju as a land and pass. Opponent's probably going to Field of Ruin us in our draw step. Not knowing that... Now they're going to know we only run 1 basic. Wish we drew a chord there. That would have been awesome. Alright. Just keep attacking. I mean, we have a 3-turn clock. Opponent does have 7 cards in hand. He's shocking a Sacred Foundry down to 6. 4 mana and a Hellkite. So they'll destroy our Lush Portico. We have no basics. So we'll surveil and put a scout in the yard. And another spell we can't cast, and now we can't attack, so we just pass. And pass. Nope, we don't have any lands. Yeah, we have the worst mana base in the whole format. I'm gonna concede here. Okay. Land destruction. Haywire Might's bad. The Wolves. But everything is bad. Bring Crystal Barricade. Bring in Sun Cleanser. And a Grist. And we'll see what happens here. Not feeling too optimistic about this matchup. It's very difficult. We'll keep this hand. We're going to go get a Godless Shrine here, because we have the Scout in hand. Next turn we'll Rumble. We're never getting the basic, because we need it for the one time we can use it. All right, we'll take Sam here. Okay, we're getting closer to the combo. We're getting close. We could draw into the combo win next turn. I mean, they might have Solitude, but okay, Cleansing Wildfiring themselves to ramp. So they'll do Flagstones first, get a mountain, and then... Or the Cleansing Wildfire first, get a mountain, and then Flagstones probably get Elegant Parlor, yep. Okay. I would love to draw a cat. That's a chord. So unfortunately, we can't even cast the chord. So I'll play Heath. Cast the Sam. Attack with the feeder and pass. And we're just going to cross our fingers that we can pull out this win next turn. Board wipe here. Hellkite? Wrath of the Skies. Yeah, board wipe. Okay. So now we're going to surveil, and if we surveil a cat into the yard, we scout and win. Toss down the yard. Draw a cat, draw a cat, draw a cat one time. No cat. Alright, so we're gonna try and chord for a cat. Yeah, we'll play the carrion feeder here. We're gonna try and chord for a cat and then scout the victory. Oh my god. So now we have to chord for... Okay, so now... Opponent! Now we have to chord for a grist to deal with that. Oh, there's the grist. We didn't have to chord for it. That's nice. Sack the feeder. Kill the Elishnorn. And pass. Maybe we can get there with the grist, huh? Grist tick up can help us cast chord. Field of Ruin, okay. We'll get a land, or one land. And here's the Hellkite, okay. Probably taking the Overgrown Tomb, yep. Okay. Okay. So here we tick up. So, okay. If we scout for the Sam and the carrion feeder, then we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, we can win. We actually can win here. So we just gotta hope that the opponent doesn't have a Solitude. If they don't have Solitude, we actually win here. Wow, I can't believe we stole a game from this deck. That's crazy. Shout out Grist, you're the homie. I think there's no changes. I think we're just running with this and we're just like crossing our fingers and hoping for the best. Scout was awesome in that game. Alright, we'll keep this. Grist is an MVP. Play a feeder and pass. Opponent shocks in Sacred Foundry. Probably Cleansing Wildfire here. No, white. White Orchid Phantom. Also very bad. Oh, they're going to hit themselves so they can ramp. Okay. Okay. So now we can Badger Mole Cub, which is nice. Or maybe we just play Sam here. Let's just play Sam here. We're just trying to give the opponent as many questions as we can and see how many answers they have. So I'm trying to make it so that they have to decide between land destruction and playing to the board every turn. Okay. So they decided to play to the board. I don't know why I did that. That was stupid. And now we are going to slam our grist. Or, let's actually Badger Mole Cub Birthing Ritual. I think that's going to be more difficult for them to deal with. Unless they have an answer to the Badger Mole Cub here, in which case, that sucks. Well, that sucks. But they're down to 3 cards. So we're making progress. We have Grist. We have Birthing Ritual. We have Court of Calling. We're live for a... Alright, there's Magnetic Hellkite. They'll probably hit the Godless Shrine. We're looking okay, though. We're looking okay. There's a Familiar. Okay. So I think here what we want to do is... We're not going to... Unfortunately, we can't play both these spells. So I think we're going to play the Grist, sack the Temple, kill the Hellkite, and pass. We're going to tap this way. We're going to represent something, I don't know. Kill the Hellkite. Opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. And we're looking kind of good here. Maybe. Price of Freedom kills our white land. Okay. And they have a Flagstones. And probably another Hellkite. Yep. Another Hellkite. Well, we can't deal with that. Oy vey. So now what we want is a goose. Okay. And then we're going to play the goose. And when they attack, we're going to decide if we're going to chord for a Dryad Arbor or not. Okay. So they're pathing the goose. So I think we like just want to get another creature down. I want to guarantee that I can cast the Birthing Ritual, so I actually need to do this in case they have another land destruction spell. I'll be able to actually cast the Birthing Ritual next turn, so. Out of basics, so no. Opponent's going to attack down Grist, which really sucks. That was like the only way I think we could have like gotten back into the game, and now we just have Birthing Ritual. Attack with our two little guys, get them down to 13, and Ritual. And we hit a Carrying Feeder, so I'll grab that and pass. Oh, rest in peace. Why? So now our only live draw is Birthing Ritual into if we have to Ritual into Oculus here. I'll grab a land. Play a land, fetch and shock, because it doesn't matter because we need the Oculus. Play the Familiar, gain a life. Play the Birthing Ritual, and pass. And let's see what we get on our 2 hits. The first one. That's so unfortunate. That rest in peace. We would have won the game if that wasn't a rest in peace, because we would have taken the Sam, and then the next one would have gotten us a guy, and we would have won. So now we're gonna sack the Dryad Arbor and get a cat. Maybe we should have gotten Sam. Oh! I screwed up so bad. We were supposed to sack the Familiar to get Sam, and then sack Sam to get Oculus, and now we lost the game. So I screwed up there. That That was a big mistake there. Actually, we're at 4, so we have one more turn. Okay, let's calm down. We didn't totally lose the game yet. We're not going to sacrifice anything. We will pass. We're going to be at 1 life. Now, I did figure out what the line I needed to take was to get back into this game, but I just spaced on it and made the wrong play. And that happens a lot in Magic. Like, you can map out everything that you want to do. You can figure it all out. You can go the route that you want to go, and then you can still screw up and lose because of it. At least we have a blocker now. Okay, so now we're going to sack a cat and get a Sam. And then we're going to sack a Sam and get an... Okay. We're live. We're live. Oh, okay. My deck may have bailed me out here. Cleansing Wildfire. Okay. They draw a card. A Field of Ruin. Okay. Alright, I'll gain 3 life in response. An opponent still only has 1 card in hand. They can't attack. Okay. And there's a Sam. So, I don't think we even want to play the Sam. I think we want to have the Goose and the Oculus as blockers. So we're just going to pass. We'll sack. At this point, we're not going to be able to combo kill them. So we'll sack the Familiar and get a Sun Cleanser. That's going to turn off some of their spells. And then we'll just sack the Sun Cleanser and get another Oculus. I don't think they can beat 2 Oculuses. And now we can start attacking. They have 1 card. So if we attack like this and they block here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We win! I cannot believe we beat this deck. I was so doom and gloom. I made a bunch of mistakes. But after you make a mistake, you need to take a second, step back, and just try and make the right plays moving forward after you make mistakes. That's the only way that you can play this game. And I got bailed out by Birthing Rituals and Important Oculuses. That's amazing. All right, well, after an 0-2 start and playing against 3 bad matchups and 1 50-50 matchup, we are somehow 2-2. We'll see you in the next round. Okay, we're back here with round 5. We lost the die roll. But this hand looks okay. It's 4 lands, but Birthing Ritual does help a lot. So we're going to keep this one and see how it goes. I do hate keeping hands with Dryad Arbor. It feels like we already mulliganed to 6. But I would keep 3 lands, Goose, Ritual, Haywire Might, so we're going to keep it. Opponent plays a tapped Steam Vents turn 1, so we're probably up against... Prowess, which I did pretty well against Prowess this past weekend, so hopefully I can ride that momentum and get a win to finish this league off nice. So we're going to start off with a Fetch Shock, Overgrown Tomb, and play Gilded Goose and pass. Now if they go like Haste Creature Attack, I might not block, because I want to be able to Ritual away the Gilded Goose. Ooh, this is gonna be okay. So we're playing against. Is it Cutter probably with like Emery's and stuff? It might be Sewer Valence. Yeah, there's Emery. Okay, so this matchup is very important that we have 2 food when we go off to play around the Tormod's Crypt. Haywire Might. Oh my gosh, turn 1, we're going to just pop their Saga, I think. Now, this is going to be rough because every turn they're going to be drawing extra cards with the Emery and the Mishra's Bauble, but we're going to try and slow them down as much as we can. So we're going to shock in here, play a Haywire Might, and then we're going to pop that Saga. And then next turn, we can even scout it back and pop something else. So, unless they Tormod's Crypt, of course. Alright, they're going to bring back... Oh, this Ravenous Robots. Very cool card. It's like another Pinnacle Emissary. And that's all they do for the turn. Okay, that's not bad for us. Not bad for us at all. So here, we're gonna cast Birthing Ritual and another Goose. Get Temple Garden. Cast the Goose. Let's see if we can roll into something good here. Wish we could take that Oculus. But we're going to go with the Cauldron Familiar. Yeah, this card's crazy. Especially with the Emissary. Oh, you can just like go really wide and then have everything attack, all your creature tokens attack. Cool card. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Alright, they're just keep drawing more cards. Draw more cards, draw more cards. I might want to try and force them to pop the Tormod's Crypt next turn with a Scout for Survivors. Oh, there's a Needle. The Needle's probably going to name the Cauldron Familiar. That's pretty rough for us. Yeah, because we need the Haywire Might back now, but they can crypt it. And now they have a really fast clock. So I guess this isn't the cutter deck, it's just straight up Affinity. They draw a card, up to 4, and we get a Cord. So... Oh, and the Tormod's Crypt is tapped. Okay. So we can scout... I think we just want to... I think the plan here is to just Birthing Ritual, and then if we get one of the other combo pieces, just win the game with the Cord. Because we have enough to Cord for 2. Maybe we even like Oculus. I'm just going to play the Dried Arbor and pass. And let's see if we win here. Dang. Another Familiar. So we don't win here. We'll sack that Familiar. We'll get that Familiar. And then do we want a Cord for Oculus? I think so. So now we're seeing like way more cards. I think the Oculus might help us, like, just not insta-die. Oh yeah, we still have to deal with the Pithing Needle. I totally spaced on that. Okay, I totally spaced on the Pithing Needle, so actually getting the Oculus was awesome. We can scout back Cat, Goose, and Haywire Mite next turn. We can even bring back the Cauldron Familiar this turn and Chump. They're probably going to give all these robots haste. They're going to be attacking for a lot this turn. Oh, they're going to be attacking. I might not be able to survive this. They only need to get 2. Yeah, they got it. Okay. Okay. We lost that one. So we're going to bring in Culling Rituals, Force of Vigors. Lavinia. And Grist. And Grist? And Grist. We're going to cut the Cubs. The Wolves. And I think I want to cut the Sylvan Safekeeper. We didn't see weapons manufacturing from them, so might be safe. Dang. That was... It's another really tough matchup. They just have so many ways to stop our combo. And also so many ways to stop our beatdown plan. Alright, sneak that. Turn 2 Grist sounds good to me. Opponent's deciding. Alright, they mulled to 6. And they kept 6, okay. So we'll shock. And squawk. And pass. We might actually just play Birthing Ritual turn 2. Unless they, like, service up, like, something that... A creature that is a must-kill. Turn 1. With the Grist. Alright, opponent with a Spire Bluff Canal to start, and then, yeah. Oh my gosh. This might be a really crazy turn 1. Welding Jar. EE. Oh, that's it. Okay. It's rough. It's rough. Don't get me wrong. It's rough. But we're going to just get our Birthing Ritual down here. One pass. And just, we can only get another Goose. That's pretty funny. Get a Goose and pass. And pass. There it is. The big turtle. So we can't kill that with the grist. Because we can't hit the ward. But maybe we want to uptick it? Just to get another body? And force them to attack it down? And that'll give us another turn? Okay. Cast the grist. Tick it up. Make a cat. And let's see what we hit off of the ritual. Alright, we'll take a Sam. There's the side goes to 2. Now they can make a token, and then their Kappa can attack for 6 unblockable. Oh, they're just going to cast Pinnacle Emissary, okay. Kappa's at 6, unblockable. They'll probably just swing at Grist. Alright, we'll block one of these guys. Grist just absorbed 6 damage, which is pretty great. And pass. And we win. Beautiful. Make a food. Bring the cat back. Always yield. Always yield. Sack the cat. Bring it back. Stack. There we go. All right. On to game 3. This has been a really interesting league. We've gotten to game 3 in every single match. We've made mistakes in almost every single match, so this will be a nice one to look back on and see if there's any of them that we could have won that we lost. It's funny, the biggest mistakes I can think of that happened in this league so far, we ended up winning after we made them, so it's kind of funny how that all works out. But we're just going to keep this again and go for it. Okay, so this is not a good hand. One land is bad, so we're going to mulligan. And we'll keep this one. And we'll toss a rumble back. Okay. So again, we have, if we need it, a turn 2 grist. Oh, and now we have, like, most of the combo. So we'll fetch shock. Overgrown Tomb. And play Goose. And pass. And they're just going to immediately kill the Goose. Okay, that's fine. We can rumble next turn. A perfect rumble would give us a cat in the yard and white mana to cast Sam. Alright, put it with the Pinnacle Emissary. 1 mana. Oh, Pithing Needle. Probably gonna name cat. Now we have to fight through that. They name Cauldron Familiar, yep. Okay. So we're going to have to fight through a Pithing Needle now. And right on time. There's our little best friend. Our little bestie. Alright, we'll take oh, Force Vigor in the Yard. That's so brutal. We'll take a Temple Garden. Gosh, I wish we had that Force of Vigor in hand. Oh my gosh. That's one of the worst parts It's like one of the only bad parts about Rumble is like sometimes you put non-creatures in the yard that you just like really wish you could have. And that's a fast clock. We're down to 16. There's a cord. So we can't really cord for one. I think we just grist uptick here. As sad as that sounds. Because we need to set up, what we need to do is set up being able to cord on end step and pop the Pithing Needle and then untap and win the game. And that's going to require another black mana. Or like a, yeah, I think that's like all we can do. Oh, and then there's a Grafdigger's Cage. So we now can't even cord. Cord is off the table. It's looking like opponent just had all their bases covered. Ravenous Robots. And another Kappa. Wow. So we're dead next turn. What a bummer. We tried. They're deciding if they want to kill the Grist or not. Yeah. I think it's right not to. And we draw Beseiju, which doesn't... We don't have enough mana. So we can go to 8 by sacking a food. And 9 with the Familiar. They just need one... They have just one artifact, we're dead. But I think if they just have one artifact, we're dead. Period, no matter what. So, like they say, you gotta play to your outs. And these are our outs. They have the Pinnacle Emissary, so you just need a land. Not sure what they could... Actually, not sure what they could draw here that wouldn't win them the game. Okay, they cycle the Fire Islet. And there's a Steam Vents. Okay. Okay. So 2 coming in. Everything attacking us. So we're going to go to 4. Block here and block here. Well, they're at... Alright, hold on. They're at 12. So if we block here, we'll have 4 creatures. We attack, they're at 10. 4, 5. So we need to somehow get 5 more creatures in the yard, yeah. Block like that. And then we'll gain 3 life. And we draw a Breeding Pool. So we can kill a Kappa here. And then we're still just like, and then we're still just like dead to a land or an artifact. If we kill one Kappa and they play an artifact, that's 6, and then we can't block the flyers, so we're dead. So we hope they brick again. Brutal league today. And I'll shock that in because it can gain life. GG's opponent. Alright, that was a 2-3 league. Pretty unfortunate that it was a 2-3. We at least went to 3 games in every round. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch these. I know I made tons of mistakes, so please help me figure out if there's any ways I could have won the games that I lost. So, all right, that's it for the second video on this channel. Thanks so much. Have a good one.